Okay, let's go ahead, stand up. So if you have weights, a block, a ring, anything, something to help you stretch, whatever you have near you, because we will grab some stuff as we go. Okay, so just grounding through your feet. First, just shake it all out. Let everything go. Let your shoulders relax, whatever little movement, so we can then help start to set up the spine. So feet down underneath your pelvis, looking to see that your toes are facing forward because our posture is coming from the ground up. And then just press the floor away from you and grow a little taller. And feel how you don't have to turn on your abs. The moment you start to stand with some length, your muscles just start to work together. So they don't need to be gripping. They just need to know that they're a part of the equation. So you're gonna let your shoulders relax away from your ears, your ribs soften into your body, and let's take a nice big inhale up. And we exhale everything out. Take a big inhale up, grow a little longer and taller. And then exhale to dive over your toes. So you can bend your knees at this point because it's probably for most of us, myself included, the first forward fold of the day. So you can have soft knees here and bend and straighten. And just get some length happening in your lumbar. And then grab onto either elbow and just sway side to side. Just let go for a minute. Maybe this is more for me because my low back is feeling super tight this morning. Switch elbows if you didn't. And then we'll release the grip. And start to just straighten the legs out. Take a breath there, let the neck release. And then slowly start to walk out to your plank position. So coming into our first plank. Always having the option to be on your forearms if it's feeling too aggressive for the wrist. Press the heel of the hand and the fingertips down. Press the heel away so you're really strong and supported here, and then take it to a downward dog. Lifting the sit bones high, bend the knees and lift the hips a little bit higher. Lengthen the legs back. You can pedal the knees out, whatever movement to help open up and wake up your body. And press the heels back, draw your abs in to round yourself forward like a wave into your strong plank position. And then back into your downward dog. So just starting to wake up the body, rounding forward into your plank. Slide the shoulders away from the ears and into your downward dog. This time we're going to hang out in our plank for a moment. Slide the shoulders away from the ears, draw the abs in, float the right leg up, point the toes, firm up your booty so your tush already feels really activated, and then pulses up for 10. Pulling the belly in. So you're also waking up those obliques to help balance out your pelvis. Lower that leg down, floating your other leg up. Finding a strong plank, and then little pulses up. Keeping the neck lengthened here, and we'll lower that leg down, take it back to downward dog. Pressing the floor away from you, lift those hip bones high, and then we'll take the right leg up to the sky, bend the knee, open the hip, just to let the weight of the leg pull open your right oblique. And then you're gonna square the hips and step that foot through to the hands, and reach the right hand up to the sky and open up here. One more breath there. And then bring the hand back down, step back into your plank, holding your plank for a moment, side the shoulder blades away from the ears, lift those low abs up and in, and then take it back to your downward dog. And we'll take the left leg up to the sky, bend the knee, open the hip, letting the weight of the knee and the leg pull you open in your hip and your oblique. So this is really about the stretch. So we're not worrying about yoga form. And we'll square the hips, bringing that foot through the hands, and then reaching that left hand up to the sky. Breathe. Get the fingertips a little closer to the sky, opening up through the spine. And then bring that hand back down, step back into your plank, coming onto your forearms, drawing the abs up and in, and then just a tiny bend to the right knee and straighten and left and straighten. So just alternating knee bends, keeping the neck long here, pulling the abs up and in, and we'll take it faster. We're just gonna go back and straighten and switch for 5. We'll keep the neck lengthened, and last one, gently press both knees to the mat and then press back to your child's pose. And take a breath, let your knees be wide, chest melts to the floor. And breathe. Reaching the fingertips a little further forward, letting your bum be a little heavier to your heels. So we just got a little, told the body we're waking up, and let's stretch it and lengthen it. And we're gonna roll forward, up onto hands and knees. and rounding your spine into your cat stretch, dropping your head, dropping your tail, using your abs to press your spine up to the sky, and then head up, tail up for your cow, shining the heart forward and into your cat, pulling the belly up and into your cow. And we're going to take 2 more like that, maybe any way you need to. If you need to move your pelvis side to side, whatever little movement you need for 1 more breath. And then bring it all the way back to center. Let the abs completely relax out for a moment, and then magnetize your belly up into your spine. So let your abdominal wall just hang out, and then magnetize the abs up and in. Feel how you start to activate in your pelvic floor and extend your right arm and your left leg at the same time. So you're super long here. Slide the right shoulder away from your ear. Lift the thumb to the sky just a touch higher, feeling in your back, and then bring the hand and the knee back down. Other side, left arm, right leg, lengthening out. Pull the shoulder away from the ear and bring it back to center. Keep moving at your pace, opposite arm, opposite leg. You get a hold and then you come back to center. How still can you keep your pelvis? So trying to not rock side to side, using your abs to balance you here. And breathe. As you extend the leg, you feel your glute activate. One more each way. When we finish up with the left arm, right leg, we'll go back and meet on your right arm, left leg, hold, rounding your spine for the knee and the elbow to connect, and back into neutral. So you round to get as small as you can, and then go back to a neutral spine. 2 more like that. Sliding shoulder away from the ear, and bring it all the way back to center. 1 time into your cat, and into your cow. And back to neutral, left arm, right leg, hold. Around your spine, the knee and the elbow. Connect under your belly and extend. So feel your abs contracting as you pull in. And then they balance you back at center. 2. And last one. All the way back to center. 1 time into your cat, 1 time into your cow. Roll the toes under, draw the abs in. Make sure the eye of the elbow is facing forward. Press down through your hands. And then draw the belly in so much that you can hover the knees and inch up off the mat. So the knees are just hovering up. We're holding here. Slide the shoulder blade away from the ear. You're going to step your right toes in a micro inch, step the left toes in, step the right toes out, and the left toes out. So it's a tiny movement. Start with the left. Go in, out, out. Other side, in, out, out. Other side, in, out, out. 1 more each way. It takes the idea out of your mind that you're holding this. Bring it back center, you hold, and then knees down, press back, child's pose. And walk the hands over to the right, taking a stretch through your left side body, pushing that left hip really down towards the left heel. Breathing into the space between your ribs on your left side, expanding that left lung. 1 more breath. Walking the hands back to center, reach a little bit further forward, and then over to the other side. One more breath there. Bring it all the way back to center, and then just slide yourself out onto your belly. Lowering all the way down onto your abs. Holding the forearms together, forehead comes to the forearms. Relax. Shake your pelvis out, letting any tension go. Also, before we do anything, let the shoulders relax away from the ears. So you feel that your back is a part of the story here, and you're not all up in your neck. So the hands are as far forward as you need them to be for your forehead to rest on the hands here. Draw the abs in, and we'll float just the right leg up off the mat, engaging the right glute, not letting the right hip point leave the mat, and lower it back down. And left side, you lift and lower. So as you're lifting the leg, you're pressing the hip point into the mat. You're also pressing the other side hip point into the mat. So your pelvis stays even as your leg lifts. So don't worry about how high it's going, worrying about the form of your pelvis, with your hip points and your pubic bone are still pressing down into the mat.
Shoulders relax. Last one, single leg, where you'll be able to stay with single leg if both legs doesn't feel great for your back. So here, if it does feel great, draw those abs in. Make sure your ribs are knitting into your body so you already feel activated, and then both legs float up and lower. So we're not wanting compression in the low back. We want length. Lift the legs. So that might mean that the legs don't go as high as if you're going to lose. If you start to compress in your low back, you could probably take your legs higher. But because you're staying in neutral, the legs aren't going to go quite as high. Lift and hold on this one. And we're going to circle the legs away from each other. They're moving in opposite directions, away from the body and then in. Really accentuating the up, out, around, and up. And reverse it. Draw those abs up and in. And then bring it all the way back to center, lower the legs down, shake the pelvis out. We're going to reach back and grab the right foot. So you're going to take a little stretch here for that right quad and hip flexor. So just relax as much as you can in this really fun position. If it feels good, you can push the hand into the foot into the hand and lift the thigh a little bit, or you could just relax into it and just breathe. Sometimes you don't need extra. Your body just needs a little moment to just chill, to let go and not let the muscles grip. One more breath. And we'll release that. Other side. Catching onto that left foot and starting to get a little stretch in that quad and hip flexor. Breathe into it. So you might need to push a little more if you don't feel it. For me, I'm pretty tight in my hips right now. So even just holding the leg back, I feel that stretch. So taking it to where you're getting the stretch out of it. And we'll release that. Keeping the forehead to the forearms. Keep your pelvis in neutral. Draw the abs in. And we're going to keep the toes on the floor as the upper body takes a little lift off of the mat. So think like someone held underneath your elbows, underneath your shoulders, and pulled you a little further out of your pelvis and lower back down. They didn't pull you higher. They pulled you further. Draw the abs up and in. And we lift like we're an airplane taking off, going up and forward, not just up, and lowering back down. If it feels good, arms and legs do that at the same time. So keep the head connected and arms and legs lift and lower. Engage the glutes, draw the belly in and lift and lower. One more time. Draw the abs in, lift and hold, extend the arms long in front of you, and we swim. Little flutter kicks. Keep pulling the abs up into the spine for 5, 4, 3, 2, refold the arms, lower everything back down, shake it out. We're going to bring the hands alongside the armpits, slide the shoulder blades away from the ears, roll the toes under, draw the belly in, and you're just going to press yourself away from the mat, up into your plank, and then you can bring your knees down, come to sit on your bum. We'll grab the ring. Already sweating in here because that New York heating system, the radiator is pumping, even though it doesn't need to be. So I've got the window open, but it's 1,000,000 degrees. It's like a sauna. Okay, so sitting up tall. So if you have a ring, great. You could also be holding a block. You could hold nothing. You could hold a ball, anything that you have handy. It's just, I want to bring awareness into the muscles in your mid-back. When we sit up tall, press the sits bones down, reach whatever you have forward. I'm going to call it the ring because that's what I have. Squeeze in with the heel of the hand. So it's not in your fingertips, it's in the heel of the hand. And as you press in, you feel your back muscles activating. And we just do little presses. Press. Breathe. Lift up out of your low abs. You also could bend your knees if that's going to help get your spine a little bit longer. Sitting with amazing posture, holding it in, tuck your pelvis and roll back halfway. Sliding your tailbone underneath you and then come up to sit. Give the ring a squeeze, scoop and roll back halfway. And come up to sit. Roll back halfway, we hold it here. Pull the belly in. Slide the shoulder blades down, lift your elbows slightly and little squeezes. Squeeze in. Lift out of your pelvic floor. Long neck, and we come all the way down to the mat. Inhale, exhale, roll up to your halfway point And we rotate the rib cage over to the right. And then come back to center and over to the left. And back to center, go back a micro inch. Twisting just your rib cage. Can your legs stay still as you move your body? Legs are still as you go to the other side. Relax the shoulder blades down. One more time, back a tiny inch. Draw the belly in. And then we rotate. Twist, twist, twist a little further. Unravel back to center. Twisting other side. And back to center. And this time up and over to the toes. Taking a stretch forward. Hooking whatever you have around your feet. If you don't have a band or a ring, you could grab a towel. Anything that's going to help you now. We're going to go into our quick little stretch. Hooking it around your right foot and roll down. Taking that leg up to the sky. And we're going to start to stretch out the back of the leg. So first, just melt into the mat. Don't worry about anything. And then start to firm the back of that left thigh down and push your right sit bone forward. Start to bend and straighten the right leg. Can you relax your shoulders? We don't want tension in the upper body. And we'll hold that leg straight and you'll come back a little bit further. And breathe. Each breath is going to help pull that leg back a little bit further without letting your pelvis leave the mat. So stretching is all about moving in opposing directions. So if you pull your leg back further, but your hip is lifting, maybe you're not going to get the stretch that we're looking for. Pushing the right sit bone forward, bring the leg back a little bit further. One more breath. And we're going to release that, bringing it to the toes for our calf stretch. So let the leg go down a little bit further and start to pull the toes towards the face, stretching out the calf. So the leg is going to be at any amount up that allows you to get into your calf stretch and not into your hamstring stretch anymore. And you'll point and flex, working on the ankle mobility. And we'll hold the toes down, heel up. And we'll return it to the center of the foot, spiraling the thigh open and out to the side for your inner thigh stretch. Keep pushing your left hip down. Shoulders are wide and relax into the mat. And really feeling like that opening through the pelvis. Reaching your right heel a little further away from you. So actively stretching, not letting the right leg just fall out to the side of the mat and laying there, but you can use your right arm as a kickstand to help support. I'm really thinking each breath is going to help get a little more length. One more breath. And then that takes up to the sky with an exhale and across the body, stretching through the side of the hip. So you keep your right back pocket on the mat as the leg comes any amount across the body that your pelvis can stay planted down. So both sides of your back pockets are on the mat, not just your left side. And try to put a little more weight into the right side as you get a little deeper into that stretch. Let's take one more breath there. Then we'll mount into a spinal twist. Let the leg go across the body, looking in the opposite direction. And extend the leg back out onto the mat, feeling long and loose. And then roll yourself up to catch onto your other leg. We'll loosen that up. And then we'll get right in to abs. And just for a minute, let everything go. Just let your leg be like, yeah, I'm cool here. And then you can start to ground down through the back of the right leg. Push the left sits bone forward and start to bring that leg back up a little bit further. Adding that bending and straightening of the left knee. Remember, your shoulders are relaxed. Holding that leg up and breathe. Shoulders relax away from the ears. Each breath is going to help get you a little bit more length in the hamstring. You're still pushing your left sits bone forward. One more breath. We release that and bring it to the tip of the toes. And let your leg go down any amount where now your calf can stretch. You pull your toes toward your shin. And you can bend it or point and flex the foot. And then hold the toes down. Breathe into it. And we'll release that, bring it back to the center of the foot, spiraling the leg, opening out to the side for your inner thigh stretch. Grounding down your right hip and lengthening out of the left inner thigh. Maybe the left elbow is your kickstand to help support the leg there. Keeping the rest of the body anchoring down. Each breath helping that inner thigh open a little bit more. Shoulders are relaxed. Take 2 more breaths. And on that next exhale, let's sweep the leg up to the sky. Letting it come a little bit across the body, keeping the left back pocket down and stretch to the side of the hip. Breathe into it. So can you push your back pocket down a little more for 1 more breath? And we'll release that. Let it go to the side and come into spinal twist. Looking in the opposite direction, keeping both shoulders planted on the mat. And we'll extend that leg all the way back out to straight on the mat. Shaking it out so the legs are long and loose here. We'll start to come into neutral spine. So just notice where your pelvis is. We didn't bend the knees yet. I want the legs long just for the moment. Feel how your sacrum, the bony part in your butt, is going to be planted down into the mat. And already your hip bones and pubic bone are coming in line. And just even when you're laying, you have that little bit of curve underneath your low back. So when we're not even thinking about Pilates, you are laying with a little bit of curve underneath your low back. Maintain that as you now bend the knees. So do you still have just a little bit of space? Don't create space, but don't also tuck your pelvis. Actually, one time, just tuck your pelvis, press your low back in, and it maybe feels like a nice little stretch on your lumbar, but that's not the position. So now allow it to go back to where your spine naturally is, and then reach the hands up to the sky. Your hip bones are in line with your pubic bone. Inhale, on your exhale, folding forward from the rib cage, and reach your fingertips as if they could touch the heels while staying in neutral, and then lower back down. Inhale, exhale, just curling forward and lower back. So your upper abs are going to be responsible for holding the head, neck, and shoulders up and not having tension in your neck. So we want to break it down to the simplest move to start and hold this one up. So you feel your upper abs are doing the work, and then little reaches forward. So feeling in the upper abs, you have a line between your chin and your chest. So your chin is slightly tucked. It's not falling backwards, but it's not all the way down. And then lower all the way back down, stretching the arms backwards, and then bring the hands down by the sides. And then bring the right knee into tabletop, letting the knee hover over the hip, ankle in line with the knee, and then the left leg comes up to meet it. So the knees are just hovering over the hips, ankles in line with the knees, and the abs, even if you didn't even move, are already starting to work to keep your legs up so your low back isn't feeling strained. Tap the right toes to the front edge of the mat and drag them back to center. Left leg goes down and drag it back to center. So taking your leg any amount, maybe it's 1 tiny inch to start to wake up the abs. Maybe it's down and further towards the front of the mat. You determine where that's at for you today, but the key is that your abs are working. The good thing is that when I can't really see you and no one else can see you, especially if your video is off. So if your movement is micro, it doesn't matter because you're not competing with anyone but yourself to keep your core stabilized as your leg is moving. Last one each way without letting the pelvis move. Bring the knees back up, give the knees a little hug.
So starting to call the transverse abdominis, it's time to get serious. Take the knees, stir them in the hip sockets, let go of any tension in the hip flexors. Reverse that circle. And we'll bring it back to center, legs back to tabletop. Reach the hands up to the sky. The hands are right over the shoulders. Take the right arm backwards and the left leg forward and bring it back to center. Other side, left arm backwards, right leg forward. So moving opposite arm, opposite leg with the head down to start. So you're giving a little tension into the back of the skull. The back body is supporting you into the mat. Your abs are drawing down and in. This is exactly what we did on hands and knees. Now, if it feels good, you could lift your head, neck, and shoulders and do the same thing, but it's not a requirement. Draw the abs in. We're going to take one more each way, sinking the abs each time. Bring everything back to center. Give the knees a quick little hug. Rock side to side. We're going to bring the legs back to tabletop. So you can always bring your legs down, reset, make sure you're in neutral. If you can stay there, you stay there. Hands reach up to the sky. Draw the abs in, lift out of your pelvic floor. Exhale to float head, neck, and shoulders up and push the legs away from you at a high diagonal. Draw the legs in, head down, hands up. Inhale, exhale, lift, lengthen, and hold. Hold the belly in. And back to center. Exhale. The next time we stay up and we hold it for the hundreds. Inhale, exhale, lift, lengthen, hold. Glue the heels, turn the toes apart slightly, and start to pump the arms for the hundreds. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's a light pump of the arms just to get the breathing going, building a little heat in the body if you didn't already. Inhales and exhale. If the legs extended isn't available today, you keep your legs in table. You also could do this with your legs all the way on the mat. So they don't have to be up. You're going to feel your abs here. And maybe if you never put your legs down, test that. See, are you getting deeper into your transverse abdominis? Pull the belly in a little bit deeper. Pelvic floor activates, lifts up and out. Pressing our thighs together. One more set. Inhales, big. And we drag the legs back up. Hug the knees in. Let the head come down. Head rock side to side. In any exercise, if the neck is feeling tension, put your head down because you're only going to think about neck tension and not your abs working. Let's bring the feet down to the mat. We're going to take the hands up to sky. Walk the feet a little bit away from you. Slide the shoulder blades away from the ears. Inhale on your exhale. You're going to peel yourself up onto your sits bones. Sitting up super tall, roll the shoulder blades away from the ears. Tuck the pelvis, and you're going to roll back, vertebra by vertebra, getting some length in the spine. Inhale, exhale, peeling all the way back up. Breathe, sit up tall, and scoop and roll it all the way down. Next time, we're going to meet on the top. Roll all the way up, holding it at the top. You're going to roll back halfway. As you do, you're going to reach your right hand back and come up to sit. Roll back halfway, reach your left hand back. So your range of motion is up to you. Mine is not feeling super big today because I don't know why my low back was feeling a little stiff this morning, but just get a little twist as you go back. One more each way, and twist and bring it back to center. Glue the heels, turn the toes apart. Pull your heels in close to your bum and fingertip touch to your ankles. So you have space in between your elbows and your legs. You're shifted back from the sits bones and you lift your heels up to hover. So already we're in a balance. Actually, before we even go anywhere, you're holding onto your ankles. Take your right leg up to the sky and bring it back to center. Left leg up to the sky and back to center and right. So you're in your balance here and left. And you feel like you've got your balance. One more time. From your abs, you extend the leg up. Extend the leg up. Keep the heels in now. Tuck the pelvis, tuck the chin. Roll back to your shoulder blades and come up and balance on your sits bones without letting your heels touch the floor. So you got to tuck the pelvis, tuck the chin, and then round. So this shouldn't feel weird on your spine. It should feel like a little massage because you're rounded. One more time. Come up and balance and hold. Bring your legs to table. Grab it behind your thighs. Lift up out of your pelvis and roll your shoulder blades down. We're going to set up to come into Abdominal Series with bridging. And you're going to tuck your pelvis, roll yourself down to your shoulder blades, touch the mat, allow your pelvis to come into neutral and extend your left leg long. Open hands, frame the right knee. Inhale, exhale, switch to the left and switch. So we're just moving side to side and the hands are guiding the leg in
like a frame to make sure it's coming in over the hip. Breathe and press. Lifting from your upper abs. Breathe a little bit faster for 4. Breathe. Hold the belly in. Always have the option to put your head down. 1 more each way. Bring everything back center. Hug the knees in. Lower the head. Bring the feet down alongside your body. I'm sorry, not alongside your body. Bring your feet down to the mat. They're not really alongside the body. They're extended in front. Arms down by your sides. Ground your feet down. Widen the collarbone. Tuck your pelvis and roll your hips up into your bridge position. Now hold the bridge up for a moment. Feel like your knees can drag a little further to the front of the room. Really wide through the collarbone. And then tuck your pelvis and start to imprint your spine down into the mat. Like you can make an imprint of it. Inhaling at the bottom. Exhale, grounding the feet down, rolling all the way up into your bridge. Hug the thighs slightly together like you have an imaginary ball between there. And then scoop and roll it all the way down because your inner thighs are helping to stabilize in this. They're working with your abs. Roll all the way up. So your abs are working to help you stabilize and all the way down. Because we want the abs always working without having to turn them on. We don't want to have to do a specific ab exercise and roll all the way down for your abs to work, because all day long they're working with the muscles in your back body. Roll all the way up and pull the up to support you. Push the hips up a little bit higher. Collarbone is wide, and then tap your bum down to the mat and press up and squeeze. Tap down, press up and squeeze. Now, if this feels like it's way too basic, you can always bring your hands up to the sky and make your abs work a little bit more to stabilize you. But if that's taking away from focusing on your glutes, then maybe you keep your hands down. Press up, squeeze. And then lift and hold. Tiny pulses of your hips to the sky. Press up, up. Collarbone is wide. Firming up the tush. Press that big toe mound down. Press the pinky toe down for 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Rolling your spine all the way down. Hands are up to the sky if they aren't already. Bring the right leg into tabletop, left leg up to meet it. Inhale on your exhale. We're going to lift head, neck, and shoulders and reach your fingertips towards your ankles. Lift a little more from the upper abs. Inhale, extend the arms and legs along your body, still in neutral. Exhale, bring it back to center. So you have a slight gaze to your stomach. You're not looking at your belly, but you can kind of see it there. I want you to see that your belly button is pulling away from your gaze. Your abs are drawing down. They're not pressing out. Inhale, exhale. It's just that you don't want to force muscle activation out. You want to drop the belly softly in towards the spine. Hold this next one out. Hold. Open the arms and legs wide to the sides and then bring it back to center. Open out and bring it to center. So your legs are as high or as low as feels great for your body. 2. Last one. Bring it back to center. Circle the arms in. Relax the head down. Bring the feet back down to the mat, setting up for your next bridge. If you want, directly the arms can go up to the sky. Firm the feet down, roll the hips all the way up to the sky. Push the hips up a little bit higher, and now lift your heels a little, or lift your heels high. Push the big toe mound down, pinky toe down, push the hips up, and now tap your butt down, press up, squeeze. Tap down, press up, and squeeze. Lower and lift. Now check in with your upper body. So your arms, if they're up, it's like they're holding a beach ball above you, and the collarbone is really wide. There's no tension in the upper body. The arms always can just stay on the mat. The neck is long and the eyes are to the sky. So not turning your head side to side once your hips are up. Hold the hips high and tiny pulses up, press up. Hugging the thighs slightly together. They're not moving. Energetically, they're coming towards each other to help inner thigh activation for 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's hold it up, dropping just the right heel and then lift, just the left heel and lift, alternating heel drops. It's barely touching the mat. The goal is your pelvis is still. Firm up your buns. You feel your low abs activating. Being very aware of the movement. It's not a lot of movement, but you can get a lot out of it. 1 more each way. Both heels high.
Hug the thighs slightly together and then sequentially imprinting your spine all the way down into the mat till your tailbone comes all the way down. Legs to table, hands to the sky if they're not already. Extend the legs straight up to the sky. Lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Extend your left leg long, grab gently behind the right thigh. A little double pull the leg in, says with the legs, pull, pull. Inhale. So you can grab behind your thigh, grab behind your ankle. Can't grab behind your knee because we don't want to pull on the knee. But maybe it feels good with the hands behind the thigh. Pull, pull, because it's not a stretch. Double inhale on the up, exhale on the switch. Staying in neutral for 3. Breathe. We're going to have a challenge on the last one. Last one, if you don't want the challenge, you just take a moment of breath, hold the right leg up, walk the hands up the back of the right leg, keeping the left leg long. Now the leg can stay up or rest it, your choice. And then walk your hands down the leg. Inhaling at the bottom, exhale, rolling all the way up and all the way down. This time, hands or no hands, we peel all the way up and catch the left hand to the outside of the right leg. Sweeping the right hand to the back, look to your right fingertips and bring it back to center. Twist fingertips and bring it back to center. One more time, really rotating the rib cage around, bringing it back to center, switch legs. Relax the shoulders, walk the hands down. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, peeling all the way up. So it's just you're climbing a tree and all the way down. Wait, is this 2 or 3? Is that 2? We got one more? Okay. Well, okay. Come all the way up and hold. I just skipped the hand part, sorry, because I lost track. Bring the right hand to the outside of the left leg and then twist the left fingertips back and bring it back to center. Can you relax the shoulders away from your ears? One more time. Twist. Bring it back to center. Both legs are up. Draw the abs in. Lift the legs up a little bit higher. Open the legs. Close the legs. So your hands are right there to help you. Just a tiny little open and close. Keep them open. Maybe you stay there. Maybe you roll back to your shoulder blades and come and balance on your sits bones. Roll to your shoulder blades and come and balance on your sits bones. One more time. All the way up and hold. Bring it back to center. Release the hands. And then slowly press your spine all the way down into the mat. And then hug your knees all the way in. Place your feet on the mat. And bring your hands up to the sky. Tuck your pelvis. Roll the hips up into your bridge. Now remember, your hands can be on the mat. They don't have to be up. Collarbone is wide. Walk the feet to the outside edges of the mat. You're going to dig the heels down. Turn your toes up. Push the hips a little bit higher. Tap your butt down. Press up and squeeze. The booty almost touches and then it lifts right back up. Tap down, up and squeeze. Breathe. Collarbone wide. And let's hold the hips up high. Tap the thighs in to touch and open them up. Tap them in and out. Squeeze the knees and thighs together and bring it back to center. Really get inner thighs to touch and then open. In and out without dropping the hips. Can the hips stay high? Now, as we open the legs, drop the hips down, press up, squeeze the thighs together. Open, drop down, press up, squeeze, in. So just a little combo move, but make sure you're precise with the movement and every position gets its little moment there of squeeze, in, out, down, press up. Now just hold it up and tiny pulses up, press up, up. Tuck the pelvis just slightly towards your face so you're not dipping into your low back for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Drop the feet, walk the feet back to hip width apart. Tuck the pelvis, rolling the hips down. Pelvis comes down to neutral. Bring the hands behind the head, elbows wide to the sides. So it's a fingertip touch behind the ears. Bring one leg at a time to table. Inhale, exhale to float head, neck, and shoulders up. Legs can stay there, or you extend them up to the sky, glue the heels, turn the toes apart. Firming the pelvis in place, extend the legs away from you at a high diagonal, and then drag the legs back up. So if it doesn't feel available with the legs extended long, you do this with the legs bent and toe taps towards the mat. So it's up to you. What is going to give you the most for your low belly? You don't want to strain in your low back.
So modify the legs, even if the legs are straight and you go a tiny little bit and lift, but heavy your pelvis into the mat. You got 2 more. Breathe, extend, low abs, lift the legs back up. Last one. We bring it up to the sky, lower the left leg long. Twist to bring the left shoulder in the direction of the right leg, and then scissor the legs. We go twist and twist. You could also do this with bending the legs. The legs do not have to be straight. You could have it bent and go in and in. So your choice, where do you want to be today? Twist. Breathe for 3. Exhale all the air out on the twist. We got 1 more. Bring everything back to center. Hug it all the way in. Relax it down. Feet to the mat. Arms by the sides. Tucking your pelvis to roll back up into your bridge one more time. Lifting the hips high. Little pulse of those hips up for just a moment. Tuck your pelvis. And just get yourself together again, because the last one was fun with the twist. And then hold it up. We're going to bring the right leg to the table. Extend the right leg up to the sky. And little lifts of the hips here. Lift, lift, and breathe. So trying to not shift your weight, trying to stay balanced. Push that right sit bone forward. Hold it up and tiny circle on the ceiling with that right toe. And reverse it. And we'll bring that leg down to the mat. Push the hips up a little bit higher and bring your left leg to table. And send it up to the sky. And small lift, hip lift, pulse up and up. Pushing the left hip bone forward. And we hold it up in tiny stirs, just to challenge the stability here. Turning those abs on and reverse, turning the leg around in the hip socket. And then we'll rebend that leg, place that foot down. And we do, again, little pulse up, press up, just to balance out the pelvis here. Pull your pubic bone towards your face. This is your last set of bridges. 10 more little pulses up. Here we go for 10. Breathe. Hug the thighs slightly together for 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it up, lift hips a little bit higher, and then sequentially bringing your vertebra by vertebra all the way down. So you rest your tailbone on the mat. We're going to cross the right ankle over the left knee, and then we're going to lift the left leg. Grab behind the left thigh, pushing the right elbow into the right thigh, and have our figure 4 stretch. Let your tailbone be heavy. So not just hanging out there, but actively stretching it. So each breath is going to help you draw the left knee in a little bit further and press the right thigh away from you. One more breath there. And we're going to switch sides. So you're going to cross the left ankle over the right knee and then pull that leg up. Shoulders relax. Push the left elbow into the left thigh, pulling the right thigh in a little bit further. And we'll release that. Extending both legs long on the mat. Firm the back of the thighs down. Reach the hands up to the sky. We've got 3 roll-ups here with long legs. Inhale, exhale, lifting head, neck, and shoulders, peeling your spine up, 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 diving over a beach ball, reaching forward over the beach ball. Scoop your abs in, and then sequentially rolling all the way down, letting the shoulders relax away from the ears. Inhale, exhale, peeling all the way up, vertebra by vertebra, reaching forward, and scoop and rolling it all the way down. The next one will meet on the top. Inhale, exhale, peeling all the way up, 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 up. And this time you can dive over to your toes, letting everything melt forward. You're going to come to lay on your left side. Stand. This is your moment, I think. Sorry. Okay. Bye, guys. Or not bye, guys. Bye, stand. Sorry. Okay. We're laying on our left side. And you're going to come to rest your head in your hands or all the way down on the mat. What feels good for you? Bringing the legs a touch forward. Push the top hip away. You're stacked as if you're on a balance beam. Your ribs are wrapping into your body and your bottom waistline is already activated. We didn't even do anything, but you're drawing up and in through your center. Float the top leg up in line with the hip. So it's like a hip width apart stance. Flex the foot, push your heel a little bit further away from you as you sweep the leg forward, point to kick it back. You can have a top hand as your kickstand. So if you need a little extra brace there, because we want minimal movement in your body. You just keep drawing that same line forward and back. Range of motion is determined by your stability. Flex to bring it forward, point and sweep it back. If you need, you could also bend that bottom leg if that's going to give you a little more there, or turn the bottom toes down. Drawing those abs in. Next time it goes back, we're going to hold it to the back and tiny presses back, pulse back. Feeling the firmness underneath the buns. Get that leg a little bit longer. Bring it back to center. The leg is long, point those toes, and tiny stirs here. Stirring inside the hip socket and reverse. Just a tiny little circle. And then hold there, spiraling the thigh to the sky. So we just opened up the hip into external rotation, lifting the leg up to the sky, flex and pull it down. So without the external rotation, the leg doesn't really want to move. So if I kept my toes facing forward, it's not feeling the same. You've got to round or spiral open to turn the femur head in the socket. The next one stays up to the sky. Bend the knee, press the toes down the leg, and then pull the toes up and extend the leg. Bend, push it down, pull it in, extend up. A couple more like that. Also just working on hip mobility, keeping your hips healthy and happy. This one stays up to the sky, keeping the spiral of the leg open and draw circles to the ceiling. You're still pulling your abs in. They're balancing you here, reverse, because this is like you're doing this on a balance beam. You can't roll backwards or on the edge of a cliff. You don't want to roll down. Hold it, flex the foot, point the toes, flex and point. Keep the flex. Let the leg come forward, right in front of the hip. Hold, and then lift it right back up to the sky. You can also bend your bottom knee if that feels like you're going to get more out of it. Because maybe you're taking too much tension into your upper body, and that bottom knee is going to allow you to get more into your hip if you take away some of that tension there. Hold this one forward, and a little bend and straighten the leg. Push your buns back. So you're keeping your spine in neutral as you do this little bend and straighten, and then hold it, scoop the leg back, bend both knees, setting up for clamshell. Push the top hip away, glue the heels together, and then open the top knee and close. Lift and lower. You're drawing your abs in. Your shoulders are stacked one over the other. Your hips are stacked. Your top waistline is super long. You get a hold and release. Up, squeeze, and down. And then hold this one up. Keep the heels together. Tiny pulses up and up and up. For 5. Lower that leg down. Pull the knees to 90 degrees. So you're in a side tabletop position. The knees are directly in front of the hips, ankles and knees. The shins are lined up with the front edge of the mat. Push the top hip away. Flex the feet as the top leg opens as far as you can go without moving. And then almost touch it down. So feeling all in that side booty. Poke the butt back a little bit. So you want to make sure that your low back has its natural curve. We're not rounding forward here. We're keeping the natural curve of the spine. Squeeze. Next one comes down halfway to hold and draw little circles, stirring it around. Poke the buns back and reverse the circle. Hopefully there's some heat in the glutes at this point. And then lower that leg down, punch it out, hopefully, because that was it for that side. And maybe you're happy about that. Extend the legs all the way out, propping yourself up on your bottom forearm. Just lift and lengthen right out of the shoulder. So maybe even just lifting yourself up and holding yourself here is an activation for the obliques. Maybe you don't need to go anywhere. But if you do, bottom leg can be bent, one leg can be in front of the other, both feet stacked, you pick your position, and we're just going to push the hips up to the sky. And then extend your top arm up. And you're going to lift those hips up a little bit higher. We're just holding. Pull the neck back just slightly so the head is in line with the shoulders for 5, 4, 3, 2, push a little bit higher, and lower the hips down, swivel the head to the other edge of the mat. And we repeat the process. If I forget anything, you need to holler out. Coming down, resting the head on the hand, however you did on the previous side, the legs come a touch forward, push the top hip away, and then you're gonna lift the top leg in line with the hip. See that you're about hip width apart with the leg. Push the top heel away as you sweep the leg forward and point and sweep it back. It's a flexed foot forward and a point and sweep back. So remember, if you on the other side took a bent knee for the bottom leg, feel free to do that here. The other option that would give you some extra support is turning the right toes down to the mat. So that gives you a little kickstand like that. Forward and back. You're just retracing that same line. How still can you stay as you move the leg? And then we'll hold the leg back on this one in tiny pulses back, press back. Feeling your buns tighten up with that little press back, even if you need to bring your hand to your butt to feel that. And we'll bring it back to center, holding it here. Keep the toes pointed and push a little bit further away and draw circles. And reverse it. Wrap the ribs in. Holding there, spiraling the thigh open as you kick your leg up to the sky. Flex and resist as it comes down. Point and we lift. Flex and pull it down. Are your hips staying still as you add this movement? You're not rolling backwards. The next one stays up to the sky. Bend the knee, press the toes down the leg, and then run the toes all the way back up and full extension. Bend, push all the way down, get full length in and lengthen up. I know this isn't our everyday movement. It's a very Jane Fonda dancer moment, but it is nice little hip mobility. Keep this one up to the sky. Spiral the thigh open even more, and we draw our circles to the sky. Can you really open that leg out? And reverse. How still can your pelvis stay as your leg just stirs in the socket? And then flex the foot and point. Flex and point. Flex and hold. Let the leg come forward to right in front of the hip and then sweep it back up to the sky. Making any adjustments with your body as you need to, as long as your spine is staying in neutral and your outer thigh is getting the activation. 2 more. Last one. I lied. Bring it forward, hold, and then tiny bend straight in. Press, press. Pushing the hips back for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Sweep it back to center, and then you bend your knees to your clamshells. Push the top hip away. Keep the heels glued as you open and close and lift and lower. So this might not be a huge movement. I want the hold at the top. Are your hips staying still? Lift, squeeze. So you get that tightness in your booty as you open. If you need to, again, you bring your hand to your butt. It's yours. Grab it. Tell the activation to go there. Hold this next one open and tiny pulses up. For 5. And then we lower that leg down. Bend the knees, bring them to 90 degrees directly in front of you. So it's a side tabletop position. Push the top hip away. Flex the feet as the top leg opens and close. When we lift. So you get that squeeze of that side booty. And getting some range of motion in the hips. For 3. The next one, come down halfway, hold it, staying strong and little tiny stirs. This is it on this side. And reverse. And we lower that leg all the way down. You can punch that booty out. And we're going to set up for our next side plank. So whatever position you took of the legs, you take that here, bottom arm under, and I know we're pushing it to 9, so we're wrapping it up. And we're going to just lift the hips up and then lift the arm up, draw those abs in, pull your head back just slightly, holding. for 5. We're gonna come into a forward plank. 2, and last one, right to your forward forearm plank. Holding it there for a moment, staying long and strong, pull the abs in, making your way onto your hands. Really lengthening the heels back, let the head be long, draw the abs up and in, and then into your downward dog. And taking whatever last little movement you need, pedaling the knees out. Pressing both heels back and slowly walking the hands or the toes towards your hands. And let yourself just hang for a moment there. Any little shake out, whatever you need, swaying your hips side to side with your arms, letting everything go. See that your feet are hip width apart, toes facing forward. Grounding down through your big toe mound, through your pinky toe, through your heel. Really strong from the feet. Head is going to be the last thing that lifts. You're going to roll your spine up. Let your tailbone drop down. Head is heavy. Super slow on the lift. Rolling all the way up. Head, neck, and shoulders is going to be the last thing to lift. Letting the shoulders release away from the ears. And we'll take a nice big inhale up. Exhale it out. One more time, big inhale up. And exhale, sitting longer, taller, and stronger than before class. And nice job, Pilates Hotties. Thank you for joining me for class.